MeLife Corporation. Yung MeLife Corporation is nag-offer siya ng products and services sa ating mga customers like foods, beverages, and others. The purpose of forming this corporation. Primary purpose namin is to gain profit. Next is para magkaroon tayo ng rights, privileges, exercise yon with of course consideration sa limitation natin sa society na given ng Republic of the Philippines. Incorporators decide Principal's office is a Puerto Princesa City. Incorporators is mostly sa Palawan. Plano naming i-offer yung mga bakanting posisyon or yung mga shares natin mostly dito din sa probinsya ng Palawan. Yung information namin kaming mga incorporators is detailed na or kompleto na rin dun sa Articles of Incorporation. Yun nga lang, yung ating mga shareholders, stockholders natin, directors and trustees, bakante pa nga po kasi nga ongoing pa lang yung pag-offer namin ng mga shares natin. Ongoing pa rin yung pag-offer natin ng corporation natin sa ating mga possible stockholders and shareholders. However, makompleto na natin yung position na yon bago pa lang tayo magka-come up dun sa idea na pipili tayo, magbubutunan tayo ng ating mga board of directors and trustees. So sa shares naman natin, yung assumption natin o yung offer natin sa commission is 20 million capital stock, 20,000 shares yon with par value of 100 per share. Next, treasurer natin. So kami mga incorporators is pumili na rin ng ating treasurer sa ating corporation which is isa din sa ating incorporators which is si Catherine D. Seño. Next is yung primary rights or general rights incorporators. Once na makareceive siya ng receipt or mga notice sa commission about sa kung halimbawa may ibang company or ibang corporation na gumagamit ng ating corporate seal or corporate name. So, yung incorporators, siya yung nagbibigay ng plan or act para ma-solve yung ganong issues. So, provided naman sa Article of Incorporation natin yung full name and signatures as well as our treasurer's signature and her name, nagpapatunay na yung information provided sa pagbuo ng corporation is permitted.
Bylaws of MeLife Corporation.
Annual meeting. A meeting of the shareholders shall be held annually for the election of directors and transactions of other businesses on such date as may be determined by the board of directors. Special meetings shall be called by the board of directors, chairman of the board, or president, and shall be called by the board upon the written request of holders of records of a majority of the outstanding shares of the corporation entitled to vote at the meeting. Place of the meeting. Meeting of the shareholders shall be held at such place within or outside of the Republic of the Philippines as may be fixed by the board of directors. If no place is fixed, meetings shall be held at the principal office of the corporation. A notice of meetings shall be given in writing and shall state the place, date, and time, and the purpose of that meeting. Inspectors of election. The board of directors, in advance of any shareholders meeting, may appoint one or more inspectors to act in the meeting. A list of shareholders at meetings. A list of shareholders as of the record date, certified by a secretary or any assistant secretary or by any transfer agent, shall produce upon the request thereat prior thereto for any shareholder. Qualification of voters. Unless otherwise provided in the certificate of incorporation, every shareholders of record shall be entitled to vote one of every share standing on its name on the record of shareholders. Quorum of the shareholders. The holders of a majority of the shares of the corporation, issued and outstanding and entitled to vote at every meeting of the shareholders, and shall constitute a quorum at such meeting for the transaction of any business. Proxies. Every shareholder is entitled to vote at the meeting of the shareholders or to express consent or dissent without a meeting, may authorize a person to act for him by proxy. Power of board and qualification of directors. The business of the corporation shall be managed by the board of directors. Each director should be at least 18 years of age. Number of directors. The number of directors constituting the entire board of directors shall be the number, not less than 1, nor more than 10. Election and term of directors. At each annual meeting of the shareholders, directors shall be elected to hold the office until the next annual meeting. Quorum of directors and action by the boards. A majority of the entire board of directors shall constitute a quorum for the transaction of business and except where otherwise provided herein. The vote of a majority of directors present at a meeting if the quorum is then present, shall be the act of the board. Meetings of the board. An annual meeting of the board of directors shall be held in each year directly after the annual meeting of the shareholders. Resignations. Any director of the corporation may resign at any time by giving a written notice to the board of directors. Such resignation shall take effect at the time specified therein. Removal of directors. Any or all of the directors may be removed with or without cause by vote of the shareholders. Compensation of directors. The board of directors shall have authority to fix the compensation of directors for services in any capacity.
Article 3. Officers. Election of officers. The Board of Directors, as soon as may be practicable after the annual election of directors, shall elect a president, a secretary, and a treasurer. Any two or more positions may be held concurrently by the same person, except that no one shall act as president and treasurer at the same time. Other officers the Board of Directors may appoint, such as other officers and agents. Compensation. The salaries of all officers and agents of the corporation shall be fixed by the Board of Directors. Term of office and removal. Each officer shall hold office for the term for which he is elected or appointed. Any officer may be removed by the Board of Directors with or without cause at any time. President. The President shall be the chief executive officer of the corporation and also preside at all meetings of the shareholders and the Board of Directors. Vice President. During the absence or disability of the President, the Vice President shall perform the duties and exercise the powers of the President and shall perform such as other duties as the Board of Directors shall prescribe. Secretary and Assistant Secretaries. The Secretary shall attend all meetings of the Board of Directors and all meetings of the shareholders and record all the proceeding of the meeting of the corporation, and shall give notice of all meetings of the shareholders and special meetings of the Board of Directors. The Assistant Secretary shall perform the duties and exercise of the powers of the Secretary. Treasurer and Assistant Treasurers. The Treasurer shall have the custody of the corporate funds and securities, to keep full and accurate accounts of receipts, to deposit all money and other valuable effects in the name, disburse the funds as may be ordered by the Board of Directors, to render to the President and the Board of Directors books and records. The corporation shall keep correct and complete books and records of account, minutes of proceeding of the shareholders, Board of Directors, and any committees of directors, and the current list of the directors and officers of their residence and trusts, checks, notes, etc., all checks and drafts on, and withdrawals from the corporation accounts with banks or other financial institutions, and all bills of exchange notes and other instruments for the payment of money, drawn, made, endorsed, or accepted by the corporation shall be signed on its behalf by the persons thereunto authorized by the Board of Directors. Article 4. Certificates and transfers of shares. Forms of share certificates. Certificates shall be issued to each shareholder. Certificate shall be signed by the President or Vice President and by the Treasurer or Assistant Treasurer. Transfer of shares. Shares of the corporation shall be transferable on the record of shareholders of lost, stolen, or destroyed share certificates. No certificate for a share of the corporation shall be issued in place of any certificate alleged to have been lost, destroyed, or wrongfully taken, except production of evidence of loss, delivery of a bond indemnifying the corporation, payment of the expenses of the corporation, and compliance with other such reasonable requirements as may be imposed.
So next is the Article 5, which is the other matters, corporate sale. So yung mga board of directors is may right sila para mag-adopt or mag-issue and authorize ng corporate sale para maggamit ng corporation normally sa kanilang activities. Next is the fiscal year. So yung magiging basis ng corporation yearly is fiscal year, which is start at 1st day of January then end at 31st of December. Third is amendment. Bylaws is pwedeng ma-adopt or ma-adopt siya or pwede siyang ma-amend or ma-repeal. Depende sa magiging result ng botohan ng mga shareholders. And yung ma-appoint na board of directors, doon nga sa magbe-base sa result ng botohan ng shareholders, ay may magkakaroon din siya ng rights para mag-adopt, mag-amend or mag-repeal tungkol sa bylaws ng corporation.